Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Chelsea here and welcome to my first video of the new year. I haven't been on camera since early December of 2018. I took an unofficial break. I say unofficial because I didn't plan for it, but it happened, so I am excited to be back, excited to be filming again, and I'm very excited for this video because I get to play and show you all my opinions and thoughts on the new Fenty releases. So Rihanna came out with 10 new foundation shades to add to her already beautiful foundation shade range. So now she has 50 foundation shades. She came out with new concealers and she came out with new setting powders so that we can have a full face of Fenty complexion wise. There are 50 concealer shades. I'm turning this away. 50 concealer shades, and the great thing about them is that whatever shade you are in the foundation, the concealer is going to be a complementary shade as well. So I am the shade 330 in the foundation, and I have the shade 330 in the concealer. You'll notice that the concealer shade that matches your foundation shade is complementary, so it's not the exact same shade, but it is complementary. So it's bright enough to brighten the under eye a little bit. It's not going to give you like a stark bright area there, but if you're someone who likes your under eye to be more bright, then you can start at your foundation shade and then work your way down. Or if you're someone who says, I love this concealer and I want to contour with it, cream contour, start at your concealer shade and then work your way up to try and find your great shade. So I think she did an awesome job with making finding your concealer shade incredibly easy. I mean, if I'm 330 in the foundation, I am 330 in my concealer shade. With the powders, she came out with 8 setting powders. They are translucent setting powders. And she also made this very easy as well. So I am in the shade Honey, and the shade Honey for the translucent setting powder is going to be for people who wear the foundation shades between 300 and 390. And so she has 7 other shades that complement and that are supposed to go with your actual foundation shade. So I think that Rihanna did an amazing job, and I mean, I really think she's a trendsetter in the beauty community because, in my opinion, she does things right, and she really does her best to try to make sure that not only am I including everyone, but I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. Makeup should not be complex. Makeup should not be hard. Makeup should be fun. And so that's what I feel that she aims to do, and that so far, in my opinion, she's doing. I also purchased the mini size of the Pro Filt'r primer. She came out with this mini size along with these other new releases, and I like it. It's half a mil or 15 milliliters. I mean, it's half an ounce or 50 milliliters. And her Pro Filt'r primer is a soft matte primer. So I'm just gonna put it in areas of my face that tend to get a little oily. I'm looking at a mirror right here if I keep looking away. Put on my foundation. Of course, I will be using Fenty Beauty's foundation. Like I said before, I'm in the shade 330. When I found out that she came out with concealers, I had very high expectations because I love the foundation so much. And so I was like, I need to love these other products as well. So I have worn the concealer 4 or 5 times now, and I have some thoughts about it. So this is not a first impression. This is more so a review. And yeah, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of this video. So like I said, I have the concealer in the shade 330. If you want to see what the concealer looks like in comparison to the foundation, here it is. So the concealer, let me read you what the concealer is supposed to do. It's a creamy Longwear crease-proof liquid concealer with light as air, medium to full coverage that brightens under eyes and conceals blemishes and redness. I would say, based on the claims, number 1, this is very creamy. I love the applicator, the paddle applicator. It makes it easy to spread the concealer over your face and get a good amount of surface area. So in terms of the concealer being creamy, I would agree to that. in terms of the claims of it being medium to full coverage, yes, medium to full coverage for sure. This concealer is not going to be your most full coverage concealer. So if you're someone who has a lot of dark circles, someone who has a lot of under eye issues that you're trying to cover, this is not going to necessarily be your one-stop shop of I apply one layer and I've got full maximum coverage. But I personally like that, and like it says, this is a medium to full coverage buildable concealer. So it's not saying that you can't get full coverage from it, you're just not going to come out the gate with full coverage. So as you can see, as I'm blending it out, this concealer blends out very well. It, like I said, is a complementary shade to the foundation. So it's not the exact same shade as my foundation, but it's complementary. And I really like that because I don't like a stark under eye. So this shade works very well in terms of color. I really like this. So another claim that this concealer has is that it's crease proof. I would not agree to that. I think this concealer creases pretty much just like any other concealer that I have, but it does not overly crease. So I've got fine lines under my eyes, and I find that this concealer will settle in it, especially if I don't set my under eye too well. But I will say this, whatever creasing that I initially may start out with, it does not get worse over the day. So it's not the type of concealer that once it starts to crease, like you're just going to end up with a bloody mess of creasing. It's not heavy under the eye, and I like that it's not overly drying. So for me, I really like this concealer. Like I said, I like the color of it. I do think it brightens my under eye, and I do think the color match is really good. So I'm going to try to zoom you in. You can see what my under eye looks like after I've applied the concealer. I hope you can see it well. I'm looking at my under eye now, and like I said, it's not, I don't think it's crease proof. Like I couldn't walk out the house like this now, not set my under eye, and like not have any creases. Even Rihanna, when she did her demo video on YouTube, after she had applied it, she was talking and she was like, you notice right here, I've got some creasing. I can just tap it out with my finger. So the whole claim of it being crease proof, wouldn't say that, but I do not think it's a concealer that overly creases and that would make your under eye look problematic. So those are my thoughts on the terms or the claims of it being crease proof. But I really do like this concealer. I really do. So I'm just going to set this concealer with the Fit Me Loose setting powder because the setting powder, let me stamp out my creases. The setting powder that I got from Rihanna's line, that setting powder is too dark to set my under eye with, in my opinion. I'm considering going back and getting the banana shade to set my under eye with so that it can look a little bit more brightened. Okay, so this is what my under eye looks like, all set and ready to go. I think it looks very smooth. It doesn't look cakey in my opinion. It doesn't feel heavy, and I'm satisfied with it. So I'm going to put on my matchsticks. So I'm going to do a little cream contouring with the Fenty matchstick in Truffle. And then I'll apply the Fenty Pro Filt'r powder. Okay, so now we're going to go into using the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Loose Setting Powder, translucent loose setting powder. The packaging is stunning. I love it. Like I said, I am in the shade Honey, and this powder comes with 28 grams or 0.98 ounces. The Laura Mercier has a full ounce of product, so in terms of product comparison and size, you're getting a really good amount of setting powder. So the claims of this setting powder are a super fine, weightless, loose setting powder in 8 sheer shades to perfect and extend makeup wear for a filtered, photo-ready finish on lock. The silky loose powder worked all day to reduce shine and blur the look of pores, fine lines, and imperfections for a hyper smooth filter that won't flash back. And I would agree to all of those claims. This setting powder I have really been enjoying. It definitely is a matte setting powder, so it's going to mattify the skin, but it does not leave the skin overly drying in my opinion. For me, because I'm already matte now, I'm going to use a nice fluffy brush. This is the Eco Tools full powder brush, and I'm just going to tap the brush into the powder, stamp it off. I like that there's some color to it, but this is translucent. I would agree with the claims that there are no flashback. There is no flashback with this. And it's beautiful. I really enjoy it. The powder and the concealer do smell like the foundation, so there is some fragrance to it. I personally like it. Doesn't bother me, but if it bothers you, that's just a FYI. But it really does help to mattify the skin. And I really have been enjoying this. Like I said, I'm considering going back to get the banana shade so that I can use that to set my under eye because I really like it. Word to the wise, if you purchase the loose setting powder, it does come with a, I guess a sifter or a cap so that your powder does not go everywhere. But this is not automatically in the container. So when you open up the box, there's like a little pocket inside of the box, and that's where this is. So make sure you don't throw the box away without getting this out. This powder is so finely milled. I mean, when you feel it on your fingertips, it feels like silk. So it is so silky smooth. But I don't know if you can see it now, but it is very fine. So you get a lot of dust particles with it. So it is a messy powder, but it is a loose setting powder, so I think all loose setting powders are messy. But I really have been enjoying both the concealer and the loose setting powder. I think for people who have dry skin, I don't know how you're going to feel about it because, like I said, the concealer is a soft matte. The Pro Filt'r setting powder is a matte is a matte powder, and you're gonna have a matte face. I know for me, like right now, I feel like I need to spray my face with some setting spray so that I can help everything kind of mesh well together and not make my skin look so mattifying. But it's not overly matte for me. I have combo skin, so I'm oily in my T-zone, and then I'm pretty normal elsewhere. So I'm okay with this type of matte appearance. But I feel like if you have dry skin and you properly hydrate your skin and prep the skin before, these products could work with you. If you have combo skin or oily skin, I really think you might enjoy these products because they do a really good job of mattifying the skin. I wore this concealer one time with a foundation that was not as matte as the Pro Filt'r foundation, and it was kind of funny because all around here, my skin had become more dewy, but like all in my T-zone area where I applied the concealer, I was still matte. And I was like, okay, I look kind of awkward, but these are really mattifying products. Not overly drying, but once again, mattifying. So I'm going to finish off my face and I will come back. Okay, so I am back. I have a full face of makeup on and I'll list all of the products I used in the description box below. So I just wanted to give you my final thoughts on the concealer and the Pro Filt'r Loose Translucent Setting Powder. So would I recommend both? Yes, I would. Like I said before, I really like this concealer because it starts out as providing medium coverage. And as you saw as I was putting it on, I don't put a lot on. I normally just don't put on a lot of concealer. I don't do like the stark triangles, and I don't really like that for myself because I feel like I'm using too much concealer and that's just going to make my under eye area look cakey. But I like that I don't need a lot of this concealer either to give me a nice fuller coverage. So as you can see, I have freckles and I feel like my freckles are pretty concealed. Like if you were looking at me maybe a little bit more distant, you might not even know that I had freckles. So I do think this is a solid medium coverage. It could be built to full coverage. And like I said, it's creamy. I do think it's long lasting. I do think it creases. So I don't know if you can notice it now, but I do have some slight creasing right here. And I will say from wearing this concealer, like I said, 4 or 5 times, I'm not going to crease any more than this. To me, the under eye creasing is not so significant that I would go like, no, I'm not going to wear this. But at the same time, if I want a more minimal creasing look, I probably would reach for probably my Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer, because this really doesn't crease on me at all. It creases a little bit because I do have fine lines there under my eyes, but it doesn't crease as much as this one. But with that said, the creasing is not horrendous. And I don't even want to use that word because that's a pretty bad word. It's not that bad. Like I said, I've worn this 4 or 5 times. I will keep reaching for this, so I do recommend it. If you have some fine lines, just know that it probably will settle a little bit in your fine lines. But the coverage is good. It's a lightweight, and I really, really enjoy it, especially wearing it with the Pro Filt'r foundation. The translucent powder, I really love this. I like the translucent powder more than I like the concealer. It definitely mattifies my face, but it doesn't make my face feel tight. The packaging is stunning. Like I keep looking at it and I'm just like, you're so pretty. The packaging is stunning, but more about the product. It's definitely a mattifying powder, but it doesn't leave my face feeling tight. It doesn't leave my face feeling cakey either. And I really would love for her to come out with a compact powder version of this so that I could carry it with me and do touch-ups with it, because I think it would be excellent as a retouching finishing powder. But I'm not carrying this in my purse because I would have loose powder everywhere. So Rihanna, you're never going to watch this video. But I hope, like, you know, maybe next year we can get a nice, like, compact pressed powder like this so that we could travel around with it. I would say if you were choosing between the two, it's hard because I would recommend both. But I do like the setting powder a little bit more than I like the concealer. So I guess I would say go for the setting powder, especially if you have a concealer that you really, really, really love. I would try the setting powder. But I would recommend both if you could get both, because I really love the brand of Fenty Beauty. And personally, I want to buy more from the brand this year, because as I see other brands come out with products, especially complexion products, I'm like, she just keeps doing it right. So I think, like I said before, if you have combination and oily skin, you really will enjoy these products. If you have dry skin and you want to try them, I say try them because they're not overly matte. So if you know how to properly prep your skin and hydrate your skin to wear mattifying products, you really possibly could love these just as much as I do. But I wanted to put that out there just so that you knew what you were getting yourself into. And especially if you are somebody with dry skin and you know I don't like mattifying products at all, then you do want to stay away from these two. So those are my thoughts. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I'm excited to be back, and I hope to be uploading more consistently. My goal is to get 1 video up a week, and if I can get more in, great. But yes, Happy New Year. Welcome to 2019, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye, guys.